أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم ففهمنا سليمان وكلنا آتينا حكما وعلما رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم سبحانك اللهم وحنانيك ألم لا تنسني ولا تنسني الحمد لله أفضل الحمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وسائر نبيين وصالحين وسلم ألم وفقني واهدني وسددني واجمع لي بين الصواب والثواب وعذني من الخطأ والهرمان آمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Questions and Answers. I'm your host Amjad Muhammad. I will be with you up until just about 8 p.m. And well, what are we going to do? Questions and answers. What else do you want to hear? So you will call in inshallah with your questions and I will aim to give you some answers. You need the phone number. Somebody's actually scribbled the phone number here on this piece of paper for some. I think somebody else forgot this, probably one of us Sab on Monday or Tuesday. So the number is 01274 214299. That's 01274 214299. Too many numbers being shouted in my ears got me confused. If you don't want to ring, why not? What's your problem? But anyway, if you don't want to ring, you can email. How do you email? You email on, well, you know how to email. You go to your, whatever it is, Outlook, Gmail, whatever you click. No, okay, joking aside. The email is Q&A, that's Q-A-N-D-A at iqra.tv. Okay, there's the email. You can see it right there because I can see it right there. So you can also see it right there. Email in and you'll be able to get your questions sent onto my monitor, and then I will be able to read them out to you and give you some responses. So that's the introduction. Alhamdulillah, beautiful few days we've had, haven't we? The sun's been out, we've been feeling warm. All the days are beautiful, but you notice people's moods change when the sun is out. Everyone is more joyful, more happy. They kind of reflect the light around them. So that's good to hear. I was just speaking to our esteemed colleague Adil Bhai earlier. Back in the gym now, back to the routine. The first week back, goodness me, it was painful. You know, when you're hanging off the bars and you're trying to pull yourself up, oh man, I was feeling pain in parts of my body that I didn't know I could feel pain in. But now, alhamdulillah, this is the second week now, full week after Ramadan, after Eid. I had a week off, obviously, the Eid week. Then I was back the following week, and now this is week 2 and we're getting into the routine. I think this weekend my routine changes because it's normally in a 4-week block, and therefore it goes on to another I was looking at it, there was like 3 workouts a day, and I was thinking, okay, this guy's pushing me a little bit. So that will be my routine from what will be probably, what's next week? We're on the, what are we on today now? We're on the 18th, so 19th, 20, 21, 20, 23rd of May, and that will 4 weeks will get us to about the middle of June. Okay, so that's the 4-week plan he's got for me to get to the middle of June, and then hopefully, you know, I'll start to see something growing and something reducing, because that's what going to the gym and eating well is about, isn't it? It's about reducing certain parts of your body and increasing certain parts of your body. And it gives you strength, alhamdulillah. It gives you drive, it gives you energy, it gives you a positive outlook to life. When you're kind of slugging around and you don't feel too good, you're struggling with your breathing, you're struggling with your, sugar levels, you're struggling with your sleeping, it's just so uncomfortable. You literally feel like you've already got one foot in the grave. But as soon as you start to take a little bit of a serious look in your lifestyle and make some changes, then alhamdulillah, you will feel good about it, trust me. Anyway, enough talk about feeling good. We're here to answer your questions, so please do call 01274 214299. Last week was madness, as they say. We had call after call on the first Wednesday. I literally hadn't finished my first sentence before the phone started to ring, and it just didn't stop ringing. Similarly, I think we had a similar episode on the Thursday or the Friday. I forget myself now. So alhamdulillah, we had a good number of calls coming in, and we had our usual young man, Abdullah from Leicester, calling in as well. So may Allah bless him and his family, always remembering to ask a question and, encouraging the youngsters out there that it's not just a middle-aged man's game. It's not an old man's game. It's also a young man's game, and also a woman's, young woman, old woman, middle-aged woman. Because this is, you don't stop learning until you stop breathing. That's essential. Anyway, let me breathe a little bit and also take this beautiful cup of coffee which Naeem Bhai has made for me. It's got one of them where even the skin has started to form. I just got some of the skin kind of grabbed up on my lip. So let's go for some questions. All right, I think this is the first one. Assalamu alaikum, Mufti Saab. There is a new company called Way Home which helps people buy homes. Their business model is that you pay, example, 5% of the deposit, and then they will buy the remaining 95% of the house. You then pay rent on the remaining 95%. Rents are adjusted based on market prices. As time goes, you can buy a greater share of the house until you own 100%, and rent will go down accordingly. Is this permissible? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, young man. Pray all is well with you. This is my fellow mu'takif who was with me in Masjid Umar just this recent Ramadan. So this is what's called diminishing musharaka. Now the concept, I can only answer the question on the concept because I haven't seen this contract. So I'm not commenting on the actual contract that Way Home offers you. All I'm looking at is the concept, okay? Because to look at the contract, that takes time. It's effort, and normally I am a Sharia consultant. So what I do is I consult, or what rather the other way around, companies who want to offer financial packages or financial products and want to make them Sharia compliant. They then will consult me, and I will go through every single thing, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, making sure that the system is sound before I sign off. So I cannot say that for this organization. However, what I can say is that the concept of diminishing musharaka, as you've explained, is permissible. So as you've described the concept, yes, the concept is valid. So these were a couple of questions which I didn't answer. So fortunately, the brothers asked. Assalamu alaikum. In Ramadan, on a number, I know it's past Ramadan, but do you remember Ramadan? Wasn't it so peaceful? Wasn't it so beautiful? Are you still trying to get into a routine now? Once you've come out of Ramadan, it can be a little bit difficult, but do make that time for recitation of Quran. Do make time for your salah. Do remember all the things you said you were going to do. Avoid all the things you said you were going to avoid. Let's just recheck, let's just refresh and keep reminding ourselves. Assalamu alaikum. In Ramadan, on a number of occasions, I got slightly late for Isha, which meant I missed either the 4 rakat Jama or missed 1, 2, 3 rakats in the namaz. I made this up by completing 4 fard first, but I would join the Imam for the Taraweeh and also pray with the Imam for Witr after this. I would complete my 2 Sunnah. And in some cases, my remaining Taraweeh rakat I made up after this witr. Was this fine to do? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Muhammad. Apologies that I didn't see this question. One, actually, I was going to check something, and then obviously we went off air, and then Thursday, Friday was quite busy as well. In terms of the practice that you have adopted, then yes, that would be valid. There is nothing wrong in that, and you would be permitted to do that. Next one, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you are well, Mufti Saab. If a person stipulated at the time of marriage that he will give his wife as mahar Fatimi and some land, then due to unfortunate circumstances, divorce takes place without the marriage being consummated, no khalwat has happened. How much would the woman get if the man has not paid the mahar as of yet? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brother. Alhamdulillah, I am well, and pray you are as well. If a mahar has been stipulated, in this case some money and some land, and then unfortunately divorce takes place before the marriage has been consummated, or it's or something that substitutes a consummated marriage, which is that the couple are alone together for a significant length of time, as a consequence, the mahar becomes wajib. However, because of the fact that khalwa has not taken place, and also because of the fact the marriage has not been consummated, then the mahar is halved. So therefore, it will be half the land that you were going to suggest and half the mahar Fatimi. I think I've answered all these. Yes. There you go. When offering Maghrib after the last sitting, if one says Allahu Akbar and stands and forgets to do Salam, how does he complete his Salah? Will one have to pray 2 additional rakats or 1 rakat or sit back down and make sujood? When offering Maghrib, I'll have to come back to that. I'm just getting my head around it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Mufti Saab, is the general use of fireworks permissible? Oh, that's already been answered, so I don't need to answer that. That's good. Brilliant. That's good. Here we go. Here's another question. That's been answered. Here we go. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Recently I've heard, oh, that's already been answered. MashaAllah, we've done very well. Most of ours have already been answered. Here we go. Here's another one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm currently bedbound, unable to do wudu or ghusl due to severe pain in my leg. I am doing tayammum for each namaz. I'll come back to this because we've got a call waiting. So, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear caller.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
I'm very well, my dear sister. You keeping well yourself?
Yes, thank you. You were overwhelmed last Thursday, weren't you?
It was a bit, wasn't it? I was shocked. I thought maybe they got the wrong presenter or they were ringing the wrong channel.
I thought you thought that people were pranking you.
I felt so because I thought either I thought it was a chap in the little room next to me, and he was playing games with me, or somebody of my family members had decided, you know what, let's keep Dad, let's keep him
busy.
Let's tire him out before he comes home.
Oh, that's good. Alhamdulillah, you're busy.
Oh, it's always good to be busy, isn't it, sister? Because when we're free, unfortunately, mind strays a little bit. We get distracted. We get involved in things we shouldn't get involved in. So I'm a firm believer in keeping busy until you physically are tired out, and then you can't get up to any trouble even if you wanted to.
Yeah, a quick question.
Sure.
I just wanted some clarity on. I think last Thursday you mentioned something about the myths of, I think you said it was a ritual or something about letting wind and then you have to do your wuzu again. Can you just expand on that? I know you briefly said something when then you finished the program.
No problem.
So is that not the case? If you let wind, you don't do your wuzu?
No, I will go into that detail. No problem, sister.
Second one is, are we allowed, I know in the working environment people have leaving dues in pubs. Are we allowed to go in pubs?
Brilliant.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Jazakallah, sister. You take care. All the best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So 2 questions there from our respected sister. One question was about, last week rather, I discussed about ritual acts and explaining what ritual acts are, where there may not be any rationality or reasoning involved in them. And I gave an example. And the example was what our dear sister just said there, which was that, where's the rationality that when we break wind from the nether regions, we end up washing our arms and our face and our feet and wiping our head. So it's a bit strange, isn't it, that the najasat or the impurity has exited, the air has exited from one part of the body and we wash other parts of the body. So I was giving that example in order to emphasize the concept of ritual. That a ritual act doesn't have to make rational sense because it's a ritual act. Another one, when we wear leather socks, khufs, then we wipe on the top of the khuf and we don't wipe on the bottom of the khuf. Now you would think that when you're walking around that the bottom of the khuf is going to get dirty, so when you make wudu, surely you should wipe the bottom of the foot, but instead we wipe the top of the foot. So there I was explaining the concept of ritual acts. Ritual acts don't necessarily have to make rational sense. Now let's go back to that example, the one about breaking wind but making wudu. Yes, if a person breaks wind or goes to the toilet for a number 1 or goes to the toilet for a number 2, then because it is a filth which is being excreted from the 2 orifices, and that filth can be gaseous, as in breaking wind, or it can be liquid, as in urine, or it can be solid, as in feces. Or even in the case where there's intimacy between husband and wife, it can be of other types of liquids. In all of these scenarios, when that exits from the body, then a person becomes in a state of ritual impurity. Note the word ritual impurity. Now, in certain cases, it only requires ablution, wudu. So, breaking wind, going for a number, going to the toilet for a number 1, going to the toilet for a number 2, that only requires wudu. But certain things require ghusl. So an intimacy between husband and wife, whether there is any discharge of fluid or not, will require ghusl. A woman completing her menstrual cycle requires ghusl. So even though it's still a filth exiting from one of the orifices, certain filths are considered more serious than others. So the lower level ones just require one to make ablution. What is ablution? Washing the face, washing the arms, wiping the head, washing the feet. And certain require a full ghusl. Full ghusl means literally from the tip of your head to your toe, making sure every hair is washed, okay, the skin in our, under our beards is washed. We rub our body to make sure that there's no dry little patch that we've missed, and it's, that water gets to the inside of our nose, it gets to our ears. Obviously, we take it inside the ear. I wouldn't put my finger inside and shake it, because then you're going to let the water go inside your inner ear. It's just to the inside of the ear, not the inner ear. And therefore, you make sure that ghusl is done. So that was that question. The second question was that sometimes people have leaving dues at work. Somebody's leaving, so they want to go down to sort of have one last, maybe a drink or something at the pub or whatever. Or it might be a Christmas party, it might be, somebody's birthday, and there's a ravage, a culture in the office that whenever it's someone's birthday, everybody buys drinks for them or whatever, some kind of, ritual act, again, ritual act that exists within the work setting. For Muslims to enter into a place where there is open sin committing is impermissible. Alcohol to us is impure, najis. So not only is it haram, it is also an impurity. So we know that, pubs aren't necessarily the places like cleaned like a masjid. So there'll be alcohol on the chair that we're sat on. People will vomit there. There'll be alcohol on the tables. So therefore, you're not going to be free from any form of alcohol. And being in that environment gives a signal that you are content with that environment, and that's something we should not be. So therefore, we should refrain from those kind of practices and refrain from those environments. And it's a case of educating our work colleagues to let them know how you feel. And then if they go to a restaurant, then that's a different thing altogether. Even if they themselves on a separate table want a drink, that's their prerogative. But at least we are sat separately, and we're in a place which is primarily a food place, not a drink place. We're running out of time. Join me soon. Assalamu alaikum.